Hey everybody, it's me Lisa again here for another edition of In Vino Veritas. Today I am going to be drinking a Chardonnay. This is an Australian Chardonnay called Notable. See how cute they are with like the little musical notes. Adorable. I love clever wines. This, like I said, comes from Australia and is a Chardonnay. And this retails for about $10 to $15 depending on where you get it. I saw different prices. Alright, so let's give this a shot. It's got some really nice color for a chard. Some chards can be really dark, but this is nice and clear, easy, you know. I smell a lot of apricot, and this smells, it does actually have a bit of a buttery smell to it. So let's see what we're tasting. So this is a nice lighter bodied Chardonnay. It's got some buttery flavor, a little bit of oak, but not too much really. So this is a really light Chardonnay, and it's also on the sweet side for a Chardonnay. It's not dry at all. Yeah, there's definitely some sweetness there, and I do taste the apricot. It's got a little bit of like a nutty flavor, like maybe like a hazelnut or a macadamia nut. I don't know, some kind of nut. It tastes a little bit nutty, and also a little bit of pear I get in there too. Yeah, there's some sweetness in there that's like almost like a caramel kind of. But this is actually a nice little wine. This is super drinkable. I could see standing around drinking this without any food, you know, like at an art opening or something where they just give you wine from the bar. Like this is that kind of wine that's like really easy to drink. It doesn't need anything to go with it. You could have something with it, pasta or whatever, you know, burgers, I don't care. But yeah, this is a nice little drinkable wine. And I'm going to get into this a little more, and then I'm going to come back and tell you a story. Hey, so I'm back, and this is, as predicted, a very drinkable wine. Go get it. Notable Chardonnay. And so while we're on the subject of notes, I thought it might be nice to tell a musical story, since I have a bit of a background in music. So when I was in high school, I started taking voice lessons, and so I would go every week or whatever. My mom would pay this lady. I have no idea how much it cost, probably like $40 a month. And she would teach me how to sing. And it was all kind of, you know, classical-ish concert music. And some of it was in foreign languages and so on and so forth. So the thing at my school was that if you were in the choir, if you were serious about singing, you auditioned for the all-state choir, which was a super selective group of people that got together to sing a concert once a year, and it was like students from all over the state. And it's supposedly really hard to get into, and so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll audition for that. So you have to sing a prepared piece. I think you had to sing two pieces, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong about this, but I think one of them was one that they made you learn, and then the other one was one that you brought and you learned on your own beforehand. So, and the one that they gave you was actually relatively easy because, you know, everybody's not at the same exact level. They, you know, whatever. And so I prepared a song that was in French, and it was called Chanson de Florian, which was about, it's kind of hilarious now when I think about it, but it was a song that was basically being sung by like a young girl from a French village who was in love with a shepherd boy named Florian. And it's very flowery and full of like, oh, he is my love, he is the one, you know, all that shit that when you're a teenager sounds normal. And so I get to the audition and I'm doing pretty good, right? And I'm like, yeah, nailed the first part of this audition. I'm doing good. And I love this song, mind you. I thought it was a beautiful song. And I had to sing, it was like 2 verses. And so I get through the first part and I'm like, yeah, got it. And then somewhere in the middle of the next verse, I get stuck. And in my teenage brain, I think, oh, it's in French. They can't understand what I'm saying anyway. So I just keep singing, and when I get to the part that I can't remember the words, I just go blah, 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 and then when I remember the words, I pick them back up. And it wasn't a bunch. It was like, literally like blah, 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 and then I moved on. And, yeah, they noticed, which is awesome. And forgetting the words, mind you, is like my worst fear from my old singing days. And when I was in college, because I was a voice major, I had to do a recital, and it was, well, I had to do the same recital twice. I had to do it privately for my professors, and then they would like grade it and give me the okay to do a public recital, which was kind of a formality, because if you get to that point, if you're not good enough, then there's no sense in doing it in the first place. So I did it, and by then I had quite a few more years of singing under my belt, and one of the songs that I sang was a French song, if you're seeing a pattern here, and it was a song from the opera Romeo and Juliet, and it is a song sung by Juliet when she first sees Romeo, and she is smitten, and she is like, there's no other guy, he's a treasure, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, there's a very dark period of the song when she sees, like, the future and is like, oh, my God, something bad is about to happen. And, you know, she's right. So this is one of my recital pieces. And let me tell you, this song is amazing. It's so much fun to sing. It goes super high. It's all over the place, like, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm at my recital, the public recital, because I've passed the private recital, and this is like 40 minutes of music that I have stored up here in my noggin. And this is, my parents have flown out to see this. I told them this was more important than graduation, so they came out, and my closest friends are there, so there's a total of, you know, 10 people there. And this song is like the end of the intermission or something. Like it's at a strategic point in the whole thing. And so I get there and I'm singing, and I get through the end of the little first verse of this song, and then it goes to the second verse, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting into this. It's going good, feeling good, singing my face off. It's awesome. And then I realize this isn't the right verse. I'm singing the wrong words, and the music is going in the wrong direction for what I'm supposed to be singing. And as soon as I realize it, I stop. I just go, ah! And I just sit there for a second, and you can hear it. I have a recording of this moment, which is awesome. My accompanist, you can hear like this pause in the music, and then he just kind of keeps going, and I wait a second, and then I jump back in when I remember where I'm at. And I will say that audience was a little more forgiving than the high school all-state choir judge, because afterwards, I remember talking to my friends, and I mentioned, like, yeah, I forgot the words. That was so crazy. And they said, you forgot the words? I was like, yeah, that song I was singing, and then I just stopped. And they said, we just thought you looked super happy because I just stood there and smiled like an idiot waiting for the words to come back to me. So I guess if we're into morals of stories, that is, the moral of this story is to keep going, even when you don't know what you're doing. I guess that's a fake it till you make it thing, because in the beginning, in high school, that didn't work. But when I got older and I was doing it in college, it totally worked, and nobody noticed, even though I could, to this day, hear it on that recording, and I just cringe and wonder how the hell I got so mixed up on a song that I had sung like hundreds of times. So anyway, that's what I've got today, kids. So next time you sing in French, yes, they'll understand the words, and if you forget them, just smile and jump back in when you're ready, and no one will care. So drink happy, drink often, and we'll see you next time.